Whether or not you want to, whatever you do with it is up to you. But whatever you do, it's not about time. It's about focus. So if you do 5 minutes a day where you look at it and like think like, okay, let me reanalyze this and try to expand or think about it at least. Spend 5 minutes thinking about it, and then you could do whatever the hell you want. Right? So you don't wait until this magical moment when you're an expert. In order to become that expert, you have to start doing it. That's why we're looking at the games afterwards. So we can kind of like, if you don't do this in your own games, if you don't do this, you start making the same mistakes over and over. And you don't look critically at like why you like what your thought process was. And it's not to try to like shame you or anything. All players need to do this. All chess players need to do this. It's the #1 recommended thing besides tactics is to analyze your games afterwards. And you can pretty much only do that up until like 1800 to 2000. At that point, you need to start getting into like endgame mastery and like theory. And you need to understand basic endgames. Like you need to be able to know how to play basic like pawn endgames and queen endgames and rook endgames. Even like the 2 bishops. Probably not the knight and bishop and king, but like, and definitely queen and pawn, queen versus king. Like you definitely need to know that one. But as far as like advanced endgame ideas, you don't really need to start doing that until after 2000. I don't think. Maybe even 2200 or more. But I mean, at that point, you start looking at opening theory. Like you really just play some basic opening principles all the way up to like 1800, 2000. Maybe even higher. Maybe not until you're like 2200 do you need to really start looking at opening theory. Like obviously you need to understand opening principles, but I'm talking about like straight up theory, like memorizing lines up to like move 20 or 40. Because you need to build up that experience and that understanding based on the principles. And the #1 thing you could be doing to improve up to like 1800 to 2000 is doing tactics daily and playing longer games. Even with quicker games, just no matter what you're doing, analyze your games afterwards. Hopefully with somebody stronger than you. So like, you know, I'm slightly higher rated, but you could get someone even higher rated than me to help go over your games. And also resist the urge to look at the engine, because the engine is not a very good coach. Like, to be honest. Squash. Eggs and zucchini squash. So I need to slow down a little bit. My brain is racing. I need to finish this coffee so I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm having like an extreme caffeine rush right now. It's been a few days since I had coffee, and then I had coffee, and it's like, woo! But it's okay. It's fine. It's important for me to just like kind of take a step back, take some deep breaths, and yeah, you should. We always need to regulate ourselves. You know, especially in chess, where chess is like a very addicting process. I call it a process. It's like we all, like, I think that's why we really love chess, because it's like a thought process. It's less of a game and more of a thought process. Well, I mean, that happens too, COOLTRO. It's fine. Are you having a good time? If you're having a good time, then you're winning. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. Because I don't want you to stress out. I don't want you to be upset about your play, because I already know how that feels, and I hope that's not the case. I hope you're really enjoying your time, and you know, it's perfectly fine to just play casually. But the thing is, if your goal is to improve, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. You don't need to be perfect right now, like, right? Well, that's good. Yeah, but I mean, as far as laziness goes, the way to get past that is that you don't beat yourself up for when you're lazy. Allow it to happen. You're enjoying the moment, and but you need to start making like small adjustments. Like maybe like 20 minutes every morning you do tactics with super focus. You know, like, or you play some games with super focus, and then the rest of the day you can do whatever you want with chess. Like just play for fun. But as long as you have that moment where you're just slowly. What's causing all of them is me not trying to use my brain on purpose. Well, I mean, that happens. Like I said, you know, it's like, this is your time. This is your experience. don't beat yourself up over it. I do it all the time. I'm notorious for this, okay? So don't beat yourself up. That's the biggest thing. That's actually the #1 lesson that any coach can give a student, is to not beat themselves up. If nothing else, all this chess stuff, all this advanced like topics, all this other stuff, that's meaningless if you don't have your mental health and your attitude and your intentions clear. You need to come up with your intentions. Like, what are your intentions? We can come up with a plan right now. Let's open up Notepad. Let's come up with COOLTRO'S plan. What is your plan for improvement? Just give me a second. I need to open up Notepad. Okay, so we're gonna split this into different categories. Let's go to COOLTRO'S. Oh, yeah. I need to save as COOLTRO'S plan. COOLTRO chess plan. Okay, so #1 is goals. 2 are expectations. 3 is going to be implementation. And 4 are going to be obstacles. Okay, so which one do you want to talk about first? What is your main goal? Look out for any danger, then proceed. So that's a goal, right? So in chess we have a tendency. In chess we have a tendency to yeah, let's put some space in there. Strategically, expectations. In chess we have a tendency to not look before we make moves. I guess expectations and goals kind of land in the same one. So goals, look at moves before, for safety, before moving. Okay, so expectations. What's your expectation? What do you want out of studying chess? Like, what's the biggest thing that you want to achieve from studying chess? Yeah, just do whatever comes to your mind, and we'll try to just build this. So it's like expectations. Like, what do you want to get? Like, what's your end game? Like, where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself as getting out of chess? Like, what do you actually want to achieve from playing chess? Like what are the biggest things that you want out of this? What's in it for you? We're not even going to worry about implementation, because we cannot come up with implementation until we know what you want. I expect to be able to at least know enough to make it start from the start. Okay. So understand how to think about positions. Is that about right? And that goes for like opening principles. That goes for middle game strategies, tactics, or slash tactics. And that goes for endgame and endgame tactics, right? But like, besides chess though, like, what are your expectations personally, right? Like, what are your personal expectations, or what do you want out of this? Like, you don't have to get into too personal, but what I'm saying is, like, why are you studying chess? That's actually one of the biggest things that I feel like a lot of people don't really understand. That we need to know why we're doing this, right? A lot of us don't really know most of the time why we do what we do. And I feel like once you understand like what you really want out of playing this game, I feel like you'll have a lot more success because you'll start knowing like what you really want to work on and what you can just like ignore. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And so I guess this would be goals would be improve thought process. Because goals are like more general. Like these are going to be like more general goals. These are like what you want to get at the end. Like after you you're going to pursue these goals, and these are going to be the results of those goals. Goals, what you want to pursue. And we're going to have expectations. Endgame is going to be what the results of those goals will be. Like the tangible results. What the tangible results of these goals will be. Like these are kind of a little bit more like kind of like this is what you want and this is like going to be what you get. Right? And we can go over obstacles, of course. Like how much time a week? How much okay, let's split this up into categories. Time, study time. And we're gonna do this in this way. Study time, distractions, and then we're gonna have like other study time that's gonna fall into like commitments and leisure. These are basically distractions. Leisure, social, distractions. So we would say like social media is a big one. Film/TV. Let's see, movies, TV, video games. 3 would be just like study area. And I guess as far as obstacles, we could say like mindset. Mindset's actually a big one. Mindset. Okay, so what are some of the obstacles holding you back from achieving these goals? So what are some like and if we need to add any different subcategories, we can. I have a lot of distractions. So let's look at distractions. So how about social media, movies, TV, video games, study area? So where are you actually studying? Like, are you studying in your room? Are you studying at a library? Are you studying in the kitchen? Are there other people in the house? You're studying in marching band? What? There's a marching band next to you? I don't understand. What do you mean by that? Okay. So I'm going to say, as far as like study area, one of the obstacles is that I think that you're not focusing enough. So let's see, study distractions. So study area. Let's list the problems. Okay, so what? Let's just say what I'm. Let's just say currently doing. Currently doing. Oops. So currently doing. So what you're currently doing is you're studying anywhere. anytime and anywhere. Oh, okay, so marching band is a commitment, right? So that's a commitment. Marching band. And that's fine too. That's a separate thing that's really important to you. So that's a commitment that you have to factor into your study time, and you have to prioritize. If marching band is important to you, you need to also be doing priorities, like, you know, things like this. And, you know, obviously I'm writing it out right now, but like, this is just stuff that we do subconsciously, right? I'm just doing this so I can stay focused, because this is one of the things that really helps me stay focused, is making outlines like this. And I've learned this from Devin Nash, and I don't know why I don't do this more. This is super helpful for me. So marching band is definitely a commitment. What I'm saying is, like, your study area. You say you'll study in any way you can, but what I'm saying, the possible solutions. Let's say that possible solutions. So what you need to be doing is you need to find a time where you can devote 100% into study. And then here we go. Let's go into I have like a weird outline method. I do capital Roman numerals, then capital letters, then algebraic numeral. Arabic numerals, and then lowercase letters, and then lowercase Roman numerals, and then just like bullet points. Okay, so find a time where you can devote 100% into study. If less time with more focus will always outweigh more time with will always be better than more time with less focus. So if that means, let's get super into sub bullets. If that means you need to study for only 20 minutes a day, then that's perfectly fine. But it's more important that you're doing 100% focus. It's actually, there's a study on this, and there in Japan, there's what's called the Suzuki method. And for violin, like, teachers would have their students play violin and just do some kind of activity to improve their violin, and focused 100% of their energy on it for like a very short amount of time. And I'm talking like 2 minutes. Like, do 2 minutes of just focusing completely on the activity, which is like bowing their violin, or like, you know, trying to like play exactly what they needed to do, listening intently and reacting, and for 2 minutes. And then after those 2 minutes are over, you just drop it. Like, you don't focus it on anymore. You don't try to practice. And then you wait, and gradually you can extend that focus to, and I know this because I did this with music as well, because I studied music for several years, and I also went to music all through high school, all through elementary school, all through middle school, all through high school. It wasn't until college when I started getting more focus, where I would put like 20 minutes dedicated to just one activity on my instrument, and then I would take a break, and then I would do 20 minutes. I wouldn't, like, but when I was in high school, I would just keep my instrument out. I played trombone in high school, but in college I played woodwinds like clarinet and saxophone. Yeah, doing puzzles is a very good implementation. So implementation, one of those is just going to be doing tactics puzzles. One of these is going to be analyzing, playing longer games. And at least 15 plus 10. 15 minutes with 10-second increment. And I'm gonna, so 15, 10. Playing longer games, and then analyzing games to after playing. This is called a post-mortem. And so And I can give you this text file after, on Discord, or I can give you a link to it. I'm gonna put it on Pastebin and give you the link after this. I'm just gonna, and we'll get back to this later. Don't I'm giving you homework, so it's like, but I mean, if you really want to improve, this is what you gotta do. And I'm doing this for myself too. Like, I'm focusing. So analyzing games after playing, mainly focusing on finding the move that caused the game to be lost for that caused either side to lose. So that's the #1 goal right now for you, is just find the losing move for either side. It doesn't matter if you did it, doesn't matter if your opponent did it. Find the move where everything started to go south. If you can find that move, you'll gradually get better at finding the moves in the game. So if nothing else, in fact, even I would actually say, don't even really do anything else in your analysis at this point. Eventually you're going to expand it to where you can like start finding like little minor inaccuracies, and I kind of did that during my analysis. So that's kind of where I am. But even me, this should be the main focus, is just finding the game losing move for either side. Secondary focus should be finding slight errors in the opening slash in the opening, in the slight errors. Yeah. Opening slash middle game slash end game. Yeah, so that'd be your secondary focus. And if nothing else, do this first one. So we found a couple stuff. We found a couple things. Let me copy and paste this onto Pastebin. Okay, and hopefully this will help. Hopefully this will help. So yeah, that's probably like the biggest thing that might help you. So all this implementation, like, do tactics, implementation, like what you're actually going to do to achieve these goals are going to be these 3 things. Doing tactics puzzles, that's your #1 thing. Playing longer games is also really important, and that's your #2 thing. And at least 15 minutes with 10-second increment. Analyzing games after playing, doing post-mortems, mainly focusing on finding the move that caused either side to lose. And then as a second, I guess as a secondary, try to find alternate moves. And your secondary focus should be finding slight errors. This is the time. This is the time to look at opening theory a little bit, and keyword a little bit. Like, this is the yeah. So there you go. There's your study plan, COOLTRO. This will probably get you very far. But if you really wanted to, we could go over these distractions more. But obviously, like, and mindset is a big one. But at least hopefully, like, after looking at this, it might give you some ideas on how you can look at how you study. And I hope this spills over into your music as well, and anything else in life. That's one of the biggest things. Thank you for the games. Thanks so much for the games, COOLTRO. That was really fun, and I hope that both of us have improved as a part of it. Well, either way, yeah, and and so that you can always have this for you. Yeah, I mean, it's actually not that hard for me. So actually, I'm very happy to do what I can to help anybody, really. Because this is one of the things that I actually have absolutely no difficulty doing. I can open up a document and we can start tackling individual issues. In fact, I want to end up doing more of that on my stream, and I feel like that'll be more beneficial to the community at large. Obviously, I cover a lot of different topics on my stream. Chess is like the main thing, but I feel like I really understand like the beginner's mind. That's actually one of my strengths, is that I know what it's like to be an absolute beginner in many different topics, and I know how to gather information to get to the point where I'm at least at the starting point. You know, pass from beginner up into the starting point. So it's actually one of my, but yeah, hopefully that's a good starting point. And the key thing to remember is that it's an active process, and it's more important that you're engaged, less than, you know, like, hopefully this gives you a good starting point, and doing the work is really what's important. Like, actually going in and thinking critically about this. And like I said, it's not about time. Like, it's not about, like, you could put, like, literally 5 minutes a day into this document. Like, just gradually work on this document every day, and, like, write down your like, you know, write it, like, if whatever you want to do with it. Like, whether you want to expand it, whether or not you want to, like, you know, add new stuff to it, whether or not you want to, journal your experience, whether or not you want to, whatever you do with it is up to you. But whatever you do, it's not about time, it's about focus. So if you do 5 minutes a day where you look at it and, like, think, like, okay, let me reanalyze this and try to expand or think about it at least. Spend 5 minutes thinking about it, and then you could do whatever the hell you want. You could go do Facebook, you could go watch a movie. Like, spend 5 minutes every day looking at that outline. I guarantee you that it's going to start improving your life. Like, I mean, and this is the reason I'm doing this, is because I need to start doing this too. So it's like, I'm not doing this just for you, I'm doing this for me as well. I need to do stuff like this more, where I need to outline things and put them in very succinct categories and ideas. And I can do this for, like, any topic. So it's like, I'm going to start doing this more often and putting them up on YouTube, because I think that'll be, like, my #1 content on YouTube. And I'm inspired greatly by Devin Nash, because he does this stuff all the time. And I need to start using that, but for my skills and for what I understand. And just like with chess, just because you're not a perfect, like, expert on a topic doesn't mean you can't start doing this process. And as you go, you gradually get stronger, and you're able to, through the process of doing it, you become an expert, right? So you don't wait until this magical moment when you're an expert. In order to become that expert, you have to start doing it. And so that's why I need to force myself to just say, hey, you know what? I have a lot to offer. Let me just start doing it. And yeah, I'm going to miss a lot of stuff. I'm going to be imperfect. I'm probably going to be completely wrong about certain things, but that's not what matters. Because somebody can point that out to me and say, hey, by the way, you're completely wrong about this. And I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't think about that. Let me change it. Let me see what I can do to fix it. And that's a process. It's just like chess. You just continually learn something. Somebody shows you something that you did wrong, and then you correct it, and you keep going. And it's wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to take a break. I need to do some video editing of this stream and then put it up on YouTube. Hopefully it'll get some good views. Yeah, hang in there, COOLTRO. I believe in you. Thank you. Bye!